you have got to come with me. And you know why? Because I got some things I want to show you. Make sure I've got some loaded on the brush. I'm going to wipe it off. Hello everybody, welcome, it's Kim. Today my sister came down from Crystal Lake with a couple of really cool pieces of furniture that we're going to be painting today. I'm not sure if we'll get them all done, but we will certainly give it a good try. She has some ideas on how she would like to finish these, and so we're hoping to be able to duplicate or get pretty close to what she's expecting. Wow, expecting. That does sound like I have a project on me. So anyway, say hello, sister.
Hi, sister.
And I will give you a quick look at each one of the pieces as we start them and show you what we can do with them, okay? Okay, these are the pieces that we're going to be working on. Got a cute little nightstand here, and there is another one here. We've got the drawers out of it because we were moving it. But look at the cute knobs on here. And we're gonna get rid of that really ugly color for sure. And then here is another, kind of has that telephone stand look to it. So we're gonna get that all nicely painted up too. And which one are you taking? Oh, you're taking this one home, right?
Yeah.
So this one here, my sister is going to keep and use, and we're not quite sure what we're doing with the other ones yet. First thing that we're doing is cleaning this off. These have been in storage, so they're pretty dusty. We just need to make sure we get any dust and stuff off of them. And then we'll do the drawers also in just a second. And now we're gonna remove the hardware. Not sure if we're saving it on this one or not. We are giving these a really good wipe down. The insides of the drawers are pretty dusty too, so make sure that your piece is pretty dust free and clean. Hello, Pooch. Come here, baby. So as soon as we get this done, we will pick out our color and decide what we want to do with it. It's a pretty nice, heavy piece of furniture. What did you say you paid for it?
$10.
Wow. Look at the dovetailing on the drawers. You don't get that with a cheap piece of furniture. This was really heavy too, so this is a really nice find for $10. Okay, so we now have everything cleaned out, dusted off really well, and now my sister's gonna pick the color of paint she wants, and we will get moving on this. So come on over and look. Okay, we're gonna do a little test piece here just to see how bright the yellow color is, and this is, I think this is mustard spice. So we're gonna go over this cute little picture so we can see what color this will actually look like once it has a darker wax on it. Her furniture is more of a, wouldn't you say maybe more of an ivory?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we put a dark wax on here, whether it be the dark brown or the black, I think that would be pretty. Okay, so we're gonna just do one coat here just to make sure that we get it covered. And then we're gonna let this dry. And then we're gonna wax it, and you're gonna see what the color changes, and it's gonna be cool. Okay, our mustard spice is dry. It's not a complete coat on here, which is fine, but we're just doing this as a practice just to see what this is gonna look like once we get wax on it, okay? So, as we've talked about, less is more. Now, you could put this on with a rag if you want, but we're just gonna do this with a brush. Doing a pretty thin coat. We can always do more coats. We just don't wanna overdo it at this point. So we're gonna let this sit for just a couple of minutes because it's such a thin coat. So we're gonna quick put that under the fan for just a minute because we don't need it to be dry, we just don't want it to be sticky. Then we will buff this off and we'll look at it, and we'll decide if we want a second coat or if we want a different color. Okay, so I started to buff this already. As I told you before, never swirl or you're gonna have swirls in your project. You will not be able to get it out. So I'm just gonna go a back and forth motion And I can't press too hard because this is canvas, so you'll be able to see here where the frame is. So we can do this a little bit darker. Do you want to try it darker, like a second coat?
Darker, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this one more time. And what I'm doing is dabbing off so that I don't have a big glob of wax that appears up on here that I can't move or get off. Sometimes when the wax is wet still, it'll start pulling the wax off. See how I've got that spot in the middle there? Right there. Kind of like when I did the sink and I ended up with that spot, same thing. But you can fix it, you just gotta be real careful. Are you getting any of this?
Yeah.
She's gonna be making me do all of it, you know that. Okay, let's let that dry for a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to show you right here. If you start putting this on and you want to try and buff it off and it's not ready, you're gonna feel it drag. So I just want you to feel that. See how it's kind of pulling?
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you don't want to do anything with that yet. It's not ready to be buffed. I'm gonna try and buff this off now and see if maybe... Okay, see it's starting to cover. I can kind of still see it, but we're gonna do this one more time and just see. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Sometimes it's kind of like, do you remember when you stenciled and you had a dry brush that you used, like how I'm doing this right here? It's kind of a good idea to do the same type of thing so that you don't end up with a lot. Now, you could put this on with like a t-shirt. Generally, I buff with a rag, and I usually use like the bag of rags. And then that way I can throw those away. Let's do this all over. So I did this on a project not too long ago where I just looked pretty cool. Trying to get that texture in here now. So we've got some of it.
Looks like a totally different color.
Yeah. And we could have done this very dark too. This is just our dark brown.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my country paint and what they call dark brown. They just tried to simplify the colors by using brown, black, and light, I think is what they call it now, not even clear. So let this sit for just a minute. I'm going to get this little glob off right here. I'm going to see if I can. I'm touching this very, very lightly. And the cool thing is you can kind of see down in here where I've got some of the, like, dabbling as I did, a little bit down in here. But if I want to just get that all over, I can go in with a little bit more and go a little heavier with it. There we go. And this really kind of gives it more of an antique look, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Now, because this is a canvas, is it gonna, is the paint gonna look different on wood?
No, it shouldn't.
Okay.
Because it's an opaque. I mean, you're actually covering it. It's not like you're just staining it. And it would just be how it takes stain if you did it that way. But because we are painting, we're covering the whole thing.
Okay.
So she decided that she really liked this color, but we're gonna go with one coat of wax instead of two, so that we're not adding any more darkness to it. Because you can continue to wax and wax and wax this, and you can get it a little bit darker. So we're gonna do the coat of mustard spice, and then we'll do the dark brown, but we're gonna only do one coat of that. So now I have part of a project for my next video. Okay, so my sister is on the other side on the floor there, and she's starting to do the nightstand itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint the drawers. So I did have to kind of raise them up a little bit, and then I will have to move them and turn them because we'll have to get the top lip and the bottom lip. So this is really, really pretty paint. You do not have to do the insides. Just get the top and the bottom. How's it going over there? Okay.
The problem is I'm a perfectionist.
Okay, I've got one coat of paint on the drawer unit here, and my sister is finishing up the nightstand itself. Once this is dry, we'll do the other drawer, and we'll let everything dry really good, and then we'll see if we need to do any kind of a second coat. This is covering very well in a single coat, so we'll look and see if we need to do any second coats on it, and then if not, once it's thoroughly dry, then we'll go ahead and wax. Okay, we are waiting for our drawers and our nightstand here to dry, and we'll check and see if it needs any other coat on it. Once we get this waxed, then we will work on the top, and I think we're going to do this in what, a dark chocolate or that leather color or black?
I don't know.
We're not sure yet. We're going to do this in a dark color, and then we will wax it. Okay, we are dry now, so we're going to start waxing, and I'm just going to show you this one. I just got done finishing this. This is the color that my sister's looking for. Doesn't want anything darker. I think it turned out pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and do the second drawer. We'll do the second drawer now, and then we will do the nightstand itself. All right, we decided to use the same hardware because it really turned out pretty. So we are just about done. We do have a coat of paint on top of the unit here. As soon as that dries, we're gonna wax it, and I think we're gonna use a clear wax because we really do like the pretty contrast. I think it turned out great. Looks absolutely amazing. And look at that. I've got another coat of wax on the table. I think it's the second one. As soon as that dries, I'm gonna buff it, and I'll probably wax one more time. And the hardware just worked out perfect. It was like out of place before, and now it looks really, really cool. Okay, here is our finished project. I've got the top buffed. You can kind of almost see a reflection of the paint in it. And then these are our two colors that we used on this. One is mocha, and the other one is mustard spice. So how bright of a yellow this was. And then we used a dark wax on it. And then we did one coat of the mocha on top. And so it brought the dark color, remember this was like a black underneath, it brought a little bit of the black out, and then in my paintbrush, I actually had a little bit of a taupe still left in the brush, and I didn't know it. So that also gave us a really pretty sheen. Just, you can just see all of the different, like maybe there's a little bit of that taupe in there, and then you see the dark, and then you're seeing the brown. I think this looks awesome. Customer, sister, what do you think?
I love it.
Good. So, another satisfied customer.